Today is not a good day at all, at all, at all. It's one of those days where I'm like, I'm okay with things, and then someone's like, hey, thing, and then they don't do the thing, and I'm like, my day would have been so much better! Deep breath. The fact this is a bad ending is very interesting. I'm pretty sure that if you burn someone alive, they kind of get a big, like, they get a big, like, it's not so bad stamp, because, Jesus. I mean, again, to be fair, like, why would you be too... I mean, I guess the point is that you're supposed to be, like, all smitten with Anna, so you're very much more on the Anna saving team more than anything. Still a bit flimsy, but whatever. Again, why not just send them a small communication? Like... Oh yeah, this comes up immediately. I forgot. The endings are remarkably well written in, like, what we can and can't do. Yeah, like, this to me feels like they're trying to explain away why this very obviously alright ending isn't plausible. It's so stupid! Like, I know that making an ironclad problem is hard, but at the same time... Also, the fact that you removed this is very telling, and the fact that the Anna one is very deep in. To me, it's supposed to be that you can't easily hook up with Anna, so the point is that since it's nearly impossible to get a first date right without some other information, it is unlikely that you as a player are gonna roll into it without, like, some other endings. And if you do, well then, clearly you know more than you should. Especially since you need to get to Anna's second... Yeah, like, you really are working on a tight schedule in that case. And you wouldn't know about the question to begin with, so you wouldn't know to go to Remy first and then do 2 dates. That's neat. Okay, so that does kind of justify it, since the amount of time is unknown, so since you need all the energy, and like it's not good because again, battery, blah blah. But I could kind of see where this is coming from. Like they're working on a tight schedule. They'd be expending a lot of energy that probably should be used trying to figure things out. It's not a great ending, but it's enough that I'm willing to say, you can hand wave it. This is hand waveable. I actually kind of like that there's this ending where you're just alone with her. Like, everyone else is just fucking dead, and you're just standing here with Izumi trying to figure shit out. Reject. I need a better word than for off-ice. Yeah, that's not good. That's a good one. I don't know. Like, it's basically the same, but something about the Dutch version just feels like it reads a bit sassier. Like, it's basically the same text. I'm not intentionally doing any alterations like I sometimes do, give it a little bit of sass, but... Oh, that's neat. It's another one of those botched characters. I love it when this happens. I don't know why that happens, because it's very specific and kind of weird. I hope it doesn't affect any of this. That'd be terrible. As far as I'm... You said that twice. This is a bit sloppy writing. Like, this isn't very strong. Iteration can be a very strong element, but God, he's right, and this is not a good application. Unless it's, like, you have to iterate at least 3 times in that kind of way before it actually starts getting punchy. Yeah, it just feels a bit flimsy here. I mean, at the same time, you are kind of in a panic situation. I can imagine your character's a bit ugh, and not in the mood for fancy talk. Okay, this is interesting. So usually when we see this, we've seen it with Anna, I think, where like there's literally several times the iterations of a line, but here it feels kind of weird. Here it's changes significantly. Like, who do you want to save? Those who sent Rezar? Those who supported him? Oh, okay, I get it. Although I think that this one works a bit better with the line, is this really about humanity? Because in this context, it's like, hey, like, those who send Res, those support it really kind of hammers home, like, there's nothing in humanity to save. Or is it about Anna? I feel that the change line isn't as punchy. Like before, I was like, yeah, that's a good reason to change that line. But here, no, no, no. I changed a bit because it's a bit more punchy. You really want to save Reza, the people that chose him, the people that support him. And number two is a bit, is it to save humanity or to save Anna? Ah. So, a thing to remember is Groundhog Day takes place in one day. This guy lives in a week period. Having to relive the same, like, 2-ish weeks sounds like hell. Yeah, 2 weeks means that every day takes place in its own day. Entirely could. It's kind of weird that Izumi wants to kill you. Like, again, what does she achieve by killing you? Those other timelines are going to exist. Unless this Izumi is, like, unless this Izumi believes that the timelines aren't, like, congruent. Like, if you go back, this Izumi ceases to be. Which, I'd actually kind of like it if, like, all the timelines collapse when the loop is closed. Like, there's a timeline of timelines. There's a period of time in which there is no loop. Like, that's the initial one. Then there's all the loops. And once you get out of the loops, all the other timelines just cease to be. Because there's nothing that allows those timelines to practically come into existence anymore. They still exist in the theoretical possibility space, but they don't exist as like an actual place someone has actually gone to. Like, it's not a string of events anymore. The string has ended. Like, every timeline is on the same line, and because you exited it, there's no new timeline to loop. It's just, basically you're exiting the system. Like, you are the last loop, and you are moving on from that. Okay, so here's another thing. The fact that, so, the fact this happens at all, that there is a closed loop, clearly implies that this is more possibility space than a continuous series of events. Because your player is never going to come back here if he logically can. Izumi shouldn't have this if it's a logical series of events, is what I'm trying to say. Squirm. Adding a little bit of a line because it kind of, I don't know, it's really hard to get this kind of... This is like, again, it's like one of those lines that works very good in English, but it's harder to translate into Dutch. It's like, you know what? Reza has done a lot, but you are a lot like him. One world is all that matters. Goodbye. There. There. This really just ties together that they're basically... You know, I like to think it's kind of the horseshoe theory. Like, Izumi is trying to do this extreme thing, but so is Reza in a different way. Reza is all murder, and Izumi is, like, manipulation of fucking time-space. Damn, there's... Okay. I like this line. Because it kind of supposed to tie back into Anna, who dies and has cancer and all that. It's a good line to tie back, but it's... I don't know, without Anna there, it's a little more disconnected than perhaps the writer thinks it is. Or maybe it's just me. Mind stream. What the hell's mind stream? That's a very interesting thing to call anything, really. Where's mind stream? Oh, it's an MX thing. Oh, it's the ending song. We get Izumi injured too. That's her on the ground, yes. Then we get the testing room. Okay, it's because it's a cheesy campfire. That's Anna's picture, yeah? Again, the sun! I wonder what that was about. Why that keeps showing up? And then we get Damien. Of course, Damien. He's very much tied into this. And then CG Anna. Which I think is just the character graphic used here in the... Yeah. That's a great little ending picture. Again, one of those things that doesn't work well until you know the actual terms that most people tend to use nowadays. I like this. The weird thing is, this seems to be a lot more tied into Anna knowing she got shot than anything else. Like, it really doesn't make sense for Anna to do that at all, unless she has preemptive knowledge or anything. Again, the little dash seems to break things. This is a good ending song. Like, I'll be honest, and I gotta say this, I have to. The ending songs are great, like, damn! Wrong selection for the punchy songs. Next time, Anna's good ending. It's not that good! Even if she's a bitch, it's not that good. In a lot of senses. In a lot of weird ways. The last one's great. Like, I really do feel that it needs to have been more between you and Izumi. So that last, like, Anna's bad ending, get it just for that conversation, because it's good. It's just good. Actually addresses a massive problem that otherwise is never addressed all that well. At least not until, like, it's too late and you're like, oh. Oh.